Good evening and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayo Makinde. President Muhammadu Buhari has left Abuja for Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire, to attend the 15th session of the Conference of United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. The president was seen off at the airport by the Minister of the FCT, Mohammed Musa Bello, his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, Deputy Inspector General of Police, Sanusi Lemu, Director General, Department of State Services, and other senior government officials. The summit, beginning on Monday, has as its theme, Land, Life, Legacy, from Scarcity to Prosperity. It aims to take action towards ensuring that land, the lifeline on the planet, continues to benefit present and future generations. Participants, including leaders from government, the private sector, civil society, and other key stakeholders from around the world, are expected to explore links between land and other key development issues. COP15 is a key moment in the fight against desertification, land degradation, and drought. President Buhari, who is also the president of the Great Green Wall in Africa, will join other world leaders at the high-level summit alongside the ministers of foreign affairs, environment, agriculture, and water resources. Following positive outcome of the last-ditch attempt to avert shutdown of the aviation sector in the country, the House of Representatives has cancelled the emergency plenary earlier slated for Monday, 9th May. In a statement, the House of Representatives, through the clerk, Yahaya Danzaria, explains that it has achieved near resolution of some of the major critical issues affecting the aviation industry in the country. Leadership of the House of Representatives has scheduled a meeting with relevant stakeholders in the aviation sector on Monday, 9th May 2022 at noon for further engagement on the situation. Let's also tell you that telecommunication operators are proposing a tariff increment on data, SMS messaging, and voice calls at 40%. A letter to that effect was communicated to the telecom regulator, the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, for approval. The commission is assuring subscribers that there will be no such tariff hike without empirical studies. Chip Dimma and the BC tells us more.
Report from Statista indicates that Nigeria has one of the lowest calls and data rates in Africa. But that is about to change, as telecommunication operators say they can no longer break even with the current tariff. They are asking for an upward review of call costs from a little above 6 naira to 8 naira 95 kobo per second. That is a little above 53 naira per minute, while the price cap for SMS would be from 4 naira to 5 naira 61 kobo. Calculations also show that 1 gigabyte of data would cost between 2,800 and 3,200 naira, depending on the service provider. Various factors are cited as reasons for the price hike.
Diesel and a lot of other components that makes up the cost component has gone up. We have issues where there's no forest and the cost of access to forest has gone up for equipment that needs to be imported. We have issues where the various state and local government have also increased their charges in terms of multiple taxation.
This development, however, is not peculiar to Nigeria, as some global factors are said to be major influencers.
You also look at the Russia-Ukraine crisis. That also has implications. You also know the impact that COVID-19 had on businesses. We have over 39 million MSMEs captured. Bad news. In the past few months, over 2 million of them have dropped off.
For owners and employees of small and medium enterprises, such as Helen here, whose businesses are driven by data and voice calls, an increase in price threatens their businesses. The question of whether telecom operators deserve a 40% increment is left for the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, which is reviewing the proposal. In Abuja, Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
Let's move on to electoral matters. The chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has reacted to opinions in some quarters that Nigerians should not be surprised if the INEC chairman joins the presidential race or urging him to do so. Statements by the chief press secretary to the chairman of INEC, Rotimi Oyekomi, describes such as preposterous proposition and would not happen. The chairman remains an umpire committed to free, fair and credible elections. His constitutional responsibilities as the Chief Electoral Commissioner of the Federation and returning officer for the presidential election are onerous enough for him to even contemplate straying into extraneous matters at variance with the law, morality and his personal principles. The chairman will continue to discharge his responsibilities without affection for or ill will against any political party or candidate, the statement added. The National Executive Committee meeting of the new Nigerian Peoples Party has scheduled the party's national convention for the 2nd of June 2022. This was part of resolutions reached at the meeting, also attended by the party's national leader and presidential aspirant, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwanso. Timothy Yusuf reports.
We are aware the purpose of today's meeting.
This is the first NNPP's National Executive Committee meeting since the inauguration of the present leadership of the party under the chairmanship of Professor Rufai Alkali. Major decisions taken by the party's National Working Committee are to be adopted by NEC.
The NNPP has been on the ground for over 21 years, but I think it's been resting a little. Now new life has come into it, and you can see the vigor, the effort everybody is making to bring life, to give it a rebirth.
National leader of the party and presidential aspirant Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwanso emphasized that the party is made up of like minds who believe in the peace, unity and progress of the country.
Certainly within a very short period of time, the NNPP will certainly be the number one force, not third force.
NNPP's NEC charged the NWC to work hard towards emerging victorious in next year's general elections. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Now, as the 2023 gubernatorial elections gain momentum, members of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Akwa Ibom State are being told to embrace peace and unity while strategizing to wrestle power from the PDP in the state and by extension the South-South geopolitical zone. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Ita Enang, gave the call during his consultation with party faithful on his aspiration for the 2023 gubernatorial race.
The All Progressives Congress, APC, in Akwa Ibom State is strategizing to clinch power from the People's Democratic Party, PDP. And Senator Itainang says Akwa Ibom State and Nigeria can witness huge transformations if members of the party work in harmony to occupy the state's hilltop mansion.
I will ensure that the cardinal program will be improving the human condition by ensuring that there is enough human resource that I build, which will help me to now translate to infrastructure.
The state party chairman, Stephen Turepo, and Otuita Toyo described Senator Itainang as a man of the people and assures members and candidates of transparency and justice.
We have accepted all what you have said and what you have presented before us. But make no mistake, sir, this party, every late by Stephen Turepo, will give all aspirants across all levels a level playing field.
Ida is a man of faith. He is a man of diligence. He is a man of love.
By his intentions and nomination, Senator Enang has joined the number of APC aspirants eyeing the #1 seat in Akwa Ibom State. In Oyo State Governor, NTA News.
It's time now to go over to our Lagos Network Center for continuation on Nationwide, and Adeola will be telling us how the state's APC endorsed Governor Sanwolu for a second term in office and other stories. Good evening, Adeola.
Good evening, Ayo. The All Progressives Congress in Lagos State rose from a stakeholders meeting and unanimously endorsed the incumbent governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, for a second term in office. Musa Toliat will give us the report.
It was stakeholders meeting of APC in Lagos State chapter that attracted chieftains, members of the Governor's Advisory Council, and relevant stakeholders of the party. The purpose of the gathering is to chart a united front for APC ahead of the party primaries and to endorse a credible governorship standard bearer for the party in Lagos. National leader of the ruling APC and one of the presidential candidates of the party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, laid to rest speculations surrounding the endorsement of Babajide Sanwo-Olu to stand for re-election come 2023.
Obafemi Hamzat, thank you. Especially because a very good associate. It's a pillar of support. It may not satisfy you, but you move along in a positive.
The APC national leader, however, said the party in Lagos would not prevent any aspirant vying for any position from testing their strength at the primaries, noting that all candidates that would be fielded by the party across elective positions must go through a delegate electoral system. The stakeholders meeting was attended by Lagos State APC Chairman Cornelius Ojelabi, party executive members, GAC members, senatorial leaders, and stalwarts across all local councils in the state. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
The Central Bank of Nigeria digital currency has recorded significant improvement as Nigerians gradually adopt E-Naira as a fast and reliable means of exchange. CBN branch controller Lagos, Godfrey Kayo, said the initiative aimed at strengthening the Naira and also add value to the Nigerian currency. Abolade Salami reports.
With efforts being intensified by the monetary authorities to achieve a sustainable reduction in the number of unbanked Nigerians, statistics reveal that over 40 million persons are yet to be captured in the country's financial system. In the light of this, the Central Bank of Nigeria, through the E-Naira platform, has made the process of financial inclusion easy to support a resilient payment system, as well as discourage the handling of fiscal cash. The Apex Bank, in its awareness campaign, said the digital currency will, among many things, promote inclusion, facilitate diaspora remittance, and improve availability of the Naira.
For business, the E-Naira is very good for us, and it's easy to help you make your sales. You can easily make your sales through the E-Naira and get the payment. The issue of receiving money with fake currency, that is, they buy money from you and the money is counterfeit, would not be there.
The digital currency, stakeholders say, will help prevent transaction disputes between traders and prospective buyers.
So fast than any transaction. 2, it's 99.9 secure. No fraudulence in the transaction. 3, it's easy to make a transaction. 4, there is no charges. 5, no interest debited or credited. The same E-Naira, the same money you are taking.
The Central Bank of Nigeria also disclosed its readiness to intensify all sensitization processes to ensure more Nigerians embrace the E-Naira project and reduce the number of unbanked persons in the country. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And that's a bit from Lagos. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng or live and on all our other social media handles for updates. Nationwide will continue in.
And a warm welcome to Ibadan. No fewer than 10 orphanages in Oyo State benefited from the kindness of the wife of Oyo State Governor, Tamunominini Makinde, as they were presented with various gift items in commemoration of Easter and Eid al-Fitr festivities. Omokende Igbari was on the entourage of the wife of the governor. Her report is here presented.
This gesture of the wife of the governor of Oyo State, Tamunominini Makinde, has become a tradition that many orphanage homes had benefited from, especially at a time of festivities. Tamunominini Makinde said, the Minister of Women Affairs is always a partner in celebrating and bringing succor to the less privileged in the state.
Try and do something. You can start by volunteering in an already existing homes. So thank you, caregivers, for what you do for our children. We really appreciate it. I do. It's demanding.
The benefiting homes appreciated the wife of the governor for your state for giving them a sense of belonging.
When we have this opportunity for the first time of welcoming a very important dignitary to our community, for us, the news of it keep ringing in our hearts. Indeed, grateful.
We think this is a great opportunity and we are not taking it for granted. We really appreciate God in your life and excellency too. We pray that God will continue to uphold you.
Gift items donated to the orphanage homes include food, provisions, toiletries, and cash.
Although no one prays for disaster, be it natural or man-made, the Red Cross Society says it is always in readiness for such occurrences and ever committed to mobilizing its members for disaster management as well as control with help for victims at the point of need. The society stated these during a sensitization work to commemorate the 2022 World Red Cross Day. Ayomiku Ajibola has the details.
In the last 2 years, crisis and disaster have spared almost no one. The COVID-19 pandemic, armed conflict and violence, the climate crisis and climate-related disaster, environmental degradation, food insecurity, and massive population displacement are hitting the world's most vulnerable groups hard, and many lack the means and resources to adapt. Against this backdrop, indifferences, misinformation, and hate speech are creeping into the common consensus, which is fracturing and polarizing societies and leading to people being rejected and dehumanized. Every 8th of May is an opportunity for the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement, with over 14 million volunteers worldwide, to unite their unwavering commitment to the common humanity. With the theme for this year's World Red Cross Day celebration, Be Humankind, expert says,
the Red Cross is telling people that whatever you are passing through, let other people know so that they will be able to assist you.
Government should come to the aid of Red Cross, and that is how we can move forward.
A lot of people nowadays, when they are accident victims or they have one thing or the other, they look away. We want to encourage people that if anything at all, they should try and call on us.
World Red Cross and Red Crescent Day is an annual celebration for the principle of International Red Cross and Red Crescent movements. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Nationwide continues with Ayodeji in Abuja.
Thanks, Kemi, in our Ibadan Network Center. Let's kick off the segment with some security matters. President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the military for their incessant onslaught and for not relenting as they continue to achieve positive outcomes based on their current operational trajectory in the northwest and particularly Zamfara State, which has been a hotbed of criminal activity. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, notes that the president observed that while there appears to be relative calm in the state, with normalcy returning in most parts and the rural communities, especially in view of bandit attacks on Damri, Sabungarin Damri and Kalahi villages in Bakura local government area and lately Maradun, where a number of casualties were recorded. The president directs that the developed momentum must be sustained in order to bring closure to the activities of the murderers. He condoled the families of the victims as well as government and people of the state, adding that the combined efforts of the federal and state governments will definitely bring immediate end to the horrific killings. In pursuant of their collective goal of combating insecurity and maintaining peace, the military, paramilitary and other security personnel are seeking divine intervention in the nation's security challenges and ways of offering better service to their fatherland. This was at the National Conference of the Military and Other Security Agencies held in Abuja. Charles Alpha reports.
Beside the statutory mandates of defending the nation, curbing violence and maintaining peace, these security personnel are prayer warriors, worship and praise leaders, and of course, good dancers. It is the national conference of all the security personnel in Nigeria, championed by the Federal Road Safety Corps and the Nigerian Military Christian Fellowship. These officers are here for the purpose of peace and security of the nation.
By the time we are able to do our assignment properly, it will guarantee peace and security in our land.
About the insecurity in the country, it's good to come together like this to pray over it for the nation itself.
At the cost of our duty, we have to employ spirituality to combat forces.
We are fighting drug war all over this country, and we are understanding that the criminals are taking over. And then we want to come back to God and ask God to take charge of this country. Acceptable service.
Pastor Paul Enenche, in his sermon to the officers, encouraged them to serve without eye service, with obedience to the authority and fear of God.
As people in the paramilitary and military setting, we come under a lot of pressure. And if we do not understand what to do, we might find ourselves at the end of the day having performed physical duty and fail before God.
You are preserving, you're going out and you're coming in.
There were sessions of prayers for peace and God's intervention in the nation's security challenges. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, has inaugurated accommodation constructed for regimental sergeants, major and some projects provided by the Army Chief at the 8th Division of the Nigerian Army in Sokoto. Sheikh Muhammad Dati completes the story.
The residential accommodation inaugurated by the Chief of the Army Staff include well-furnished accommodation for the Regimental Sergeant Major Garrison and Regimental Sergeant Major in the Giginya Barracks of the 8th Division Sokoto. Also inaugurated by the Garrison Complex that consists of car park and the renovated officers' mess. Chief of the Army Staff described Regimental Sergeant Major as significant in the Army. He pledged to continue to enhance the life of the Nigerian Army.
RSMs are very, very important link in terms of regimentation and administration of troops, and that's why I took their matter very seriously as a way of reinvigorating and enhancing regimentation. And we are doing that all across the gamut of the Nigerian Army.
The Nigerian Army is expected to do more towards boosting the morale of its personnel. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
2 pregnant women have been arrested for alleged attempts to export 7 parcels of cannabis sativa, a sachet of ecstasy drug and 300 tablets of 200 milligram and 225 milligram of high-dosage tramadol capsules concealed in crayfish and cartons of alcohol. They were arrested by the operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, alongside a freight agent at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos. In the same vein, a Brazilian returnee was arrested on Tuesday, May 3rd, during an inward clearance of passengers at the Lagos airport for alleged possession of 2 parcels of 800 grams of cocaine concealed in his backpack. Meanwhile, large consignments of over 700 kilograms of psychoactive substances to include cocaine, meds, and cannabis, among others, were intercepted in Kaduna, Yobe, and Plateau states, while 13 suspects were arrested in connection with the crime. Synod of Anglican Diocese of Bukuru in Jos calls for end to ASU strike. Let's join Zinret, who shall be giving us these and other stories. Good evening, Zinret.
Ayodeji, and welcome to Jos. Considering the role education plays in the socio-economic life of a nation, Fourth Synod of Anglican Diocese of Bukuru is calling on stakeholders in the education sector to find workable solutions to ongoing strike by Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU. Sadat Mohammed Kafa has details.
The Synod of the Anglican Diocese is the highest decision-making organ of the Church, whose sole responsibility is to promote evangelism and discipleship. With the 2022 Synod having its theme, Raise an Emergency Distress Altar, participants deliberated on issues that will lead to the growth of the Church and prayed for those in authority to overcome the challenges facing the country.
The Synod essentially, is to address national issues, take a stand on it, and then find a way where God can intervene in our situations.
God is a God of forgiveness. That is a take-home. Every Christian, every Muslim, everybody must understand that our God is a God that loves people.
The Synod condemned ritual killings, human trafficking, banditry, kidnapping and ransom collection, urging government not to relent efforts in tackling the vices which it describes as a setback.
We truly need to get out of it. And the best way to do that is to ensure that our hearts are all converted so that we value the fact that we belong together and that this country is ours and nobody will come from anywhere to develop it for us.
While asking interested members to participate in politics to improve lives in communities they represent, it condemned thuggery and urged the youth to remain vanguard of peace and development. In Jos, Sadat Mohammed Kafa, NTA News.
Jos University Teaching Hospital says it is working assiduously towards the realization of its mandate of achieving effective healthcare services. This was while receiving healthcare facilities donated to the hospital by charitable organization Grace Akwa Ibom reports.
Items donated include dynamic ultrasound machines, X-ray view box, operation lights, thermometers, open heart surgery pack, and seal dissection system. The donation followed the need to reduce mortality and fast-track diagnosis.
Years ago, with the visits of different physicians who have been coming for what we call a continuing medical education and who had seen the state of healthcare in Nigeria, they were concerned primarily about the needless deaths in Africa. So besides helping the doctors with continuing medical education, they saw the need to share an equipment that will help to fast-track or facilitate some of the diagnoses that are needed.
For management of the Jos University Teaching Hospital, the items will no doubt enhance effective healthcare services in the hospital.
This is given to us, this is a very big boost, to healthcare delivery. To me, the success is when we put all this to use. It will gladden the hearts of the donors, and of course, it will benefit the teeming patients that we have coming to Jos University.
The Chief Medical Director assures the donor African partners of effective utilization of the facilities. In Jos, Grace Akwa Ibom, NTA News.
And that's our contribution to Nationwide.
Thank you so much for staying on. Welcome to Enugu. Anambra State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo has set out plans to bring government policies down to the grassroots to ensure community leaders' involvement in policy making. He was speaking at a town hall meeting with leaders of various communities in the state. Ndem Kalu has more.
Citing his achievements and assumption of duty, which include cleaning up the environment, Governor Soludo urged the people to always have a positive attitude towards waste disposal and for community leaders to reclaim their communities, as government is said to give top priority to local government administration. He promised to give Onitsha a facelift as the commercial nerve center of the state, rid the state of powers, as all revenue will go straight into government's account, ensure adequate maintenance of legacy projects in the state, reorganize vigilante operations, declare emergency on infrastructure, especially roads, and provide job opportunities for the people, among others. The governor also urged the people to always provide useful information that will help government in tackling security challenges and for criminal elements to turn a new leaf.
Policy will go down to the community. That's the requirement of every policy. That means the community management must also rise up to the occasion.
Some commissioners promised to embark on implementing the initiative.
Together, to sit down with the stakeholders of the community, to choose their priority. The word priority, quote unquote, priority, very essential. Things are very important for the community. These are things we want to achieve.
Have development partners funded by World Bank, funded by African Development Bank, and then very philanthropic individuals who are willing, when they see sincerity of purpose, to bring in money to ensure food security and food safety in Anambra State.
The people are optimistic that with the set out plans by the government and its implementation, the state will achieve its vision of 2070 projects. In Oka, Kalo, NTA News.
An APET socio-cultural group, Ohaneze Ndibo, has charged all eligible voters in the Southeast region to double their efforts in obtaining the permanent voters card in order to take part in the forthcoming 2023 elections. James Oparekocha reports that this was during a meeting organized to chat on ways to foster peace and unity in the country.
Arriving from the Apex meeting, the Secretary General of Ohaneze Ndibo, Ambassador Oke Emuche, read the communique which called on all aggrieved sons and daughters who had ill feelings on the outcome of the election held in January 2021 to support the administration. The Imobi charged all stakeholders in the Southeast to redouble their efforts towards the ongoing voters registration exercise by sensitizing our people on the importance of getting their permanent voters card. The Imobi condemned in its entirety the worsening security situation in the Southeast and urged all Igbos to put all hands on deck to halt the situation.
There is need to redouble our efforts towards the ongoing voters registration exercise by sensitizing our people on the importance of the exercise and getting their PVCs where they reside.
Ohaneze said the release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as well as other Igbo youths detained across the country, will facilitate the speedy restoration of peace and security in the Southeast. They urged the federal authorities to use dialogue in resolving this matter. The umbrella Igbo body insisted that the Southeast geopolitical zone is irrevocably committed to a Nigerian president of Igbo extraction come 2023. The Imobi empowered the President General to constitute the Political Action Committee, among other committees, to actualize all the decisions taken. The meeting said only the President General, Professor George Obiozo, and the Secretary, Ambassador Oke Emuche, or any delegated official of the body are authorized to speak on behalf of Ohaneze Ndibo worldwide. Several other Igbo leaders attended the Imobi. In Enugu, James Oparekocha, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. We will now rejoin Ayodeji in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Chi Nenye in our Enugu Network Center, well, thank you. Let's move on Nationwide and tell you that mothers are widely described as bedrocks of families and by extension the society. This is not far-fetched, as many schools of thought define the place of mothers due to strategic positions they occupy to constantly add value to the world. Some of these descriptions resonated at the celebration of motherhood as residents of Oyo joined the global community in the 2022 International Mother's Day. Kelvin Samuel has the details.
Going by the roles of mothers as caregivers, protectors, mentors, teachers, and many more, one is likely to agree that a day like this, set aside to appreciate the place of motherhood and the enormous contributions and sacrifices mothers make for the society, are worthwhile.
Giving kudos to all mothers in the society and saying Happy Mother's Day and God bless all women.
Just like today, we are telling our children, do you know what it means to carry people full 9 months in the mother's womb? And then on the day of delivery, we cry, we shout before we bring you forth, that we are what celebrated.
The benefit we shared in being a woman is enormous.
The men are also not left out of this, as they eulogize mothers who they describe as worthy partners.
All mothers should be respected because they have done a duty that even women would have not passed through.
Mothers are very, very important in the society. Even in the family, you cannot really do much without mothers.
Women are the cradle of creation. Good women produce good men.
The day is widely believed to have originated in 1907.
Mothers are indeed wonderful, but to reduce maternal mortality, midwives and nurses in Nigeria are advocating responsive reproductive health care for families in order to enhance population management and create a healthy nation. Elizabeth Omorui reports that this was their position on maternal and child care during an advocacy session at Wassa IDP camp in Abuja. The event is part of activities to mark International Day of the Midwife.
Supporting women through pregnancy and childbirth, providing antenatal, interpartum, and postnatal care, as well as family planning services, are some of the areas this advocacy exercise tends to address. Hadiza is one of the women in the camp. She has been living in the facility for 7 years. She says mother and child care needs utmost attention to lower the figures of deaths recorded annually.
No medicine. If our children they are sick, we are just carry it to pharmacy, these chemists. Sometimes we are losing our child.
Many like her are confronted with myriad of challenges threatening their health. A forum like this brings hope to them, and the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives is committed to an improved healthcare system for the vulnerable.
If the young one is not properly nurtured, you will not see tomorrow. And the nurses, what they ensure from pregnancy to delivery and thereafter, we look after humanity.
If they are able to get more midwives, more nurses into the community, they will be able to educate them about family planning that they need to accept. After investigation, we'll know the exact one that is meant for each individual.
A robust primary health care system, they believe, will drive the realization of universal basic health coverage. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
In line with the global strategy to eliminate cervical cancer, which kills more than 8,000 women every year in Nigeria, the Oyo State Government said it is determined to sustain the tempo on control and elimination of cervical cancer, emphasizing the need for early detection. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
The present administration has reiterated unwavering support to cancer control and management. The Kebbi State Governor represented said recently the state government has increased the number of women to be screened from 5,000 to 35,000 and also established Kebbi Indigent Cancer Fund to cater for the less privileged patients. The treatment is to commence immediately after the screening, with facilities provided at Sayahaya Memorial Hospital, Burning Kebbi, and the Kebbi Medical Center, Kalgo.
10 health facilities were selected to carry out the pilot screening, and so far about 1,600 women have been screened.
The wife of the Kebbi State Governor, Dr. Zainab Shinkafi Bagudu, said the screening for the cervical cancer is safe, urging women to take advantage of the available free, expensive medical services.
Cervical cancer is a disease that we can eliminate because we have the tools, we have the vaccine, we have the ability to screen it, and we have the ability to treat it and even cure it.
In his remarks, the State Commissioner of Health, Jafar Mohammed, said facilities have been provided to boost access to the cancer control program, saying that the 5-year cancer control plan was deliberately aimed at cancer elimination in the state. Some stakeholders lauded the program aimed at eliminating cancer in the state. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
Over 2,000 internally displaced persons in Gire local government area of Adamawa State have benefited from a free medical outreach organized by a non-governmental organization to complement government's efforts on healthcare delivery in the country. Tafawa Hamza Mayo reports.
Soki medical outreach, meaning medical services made easy, targeting IDPs and some members of their host communities who are in need of healthcare services. The outreach focused on rendering free medical consultation, first aid, blood pressure check, blood sugar test, maternal health care, health education and counseling, treatment of childhood disease, among other health challenges. Organized by Better Life for African Women, the outreach was blessed with 5 medical doctors, 10 nurses, 10 community health extension workers, and many have benefited.
Me and my child have benefited.
I am happy the way they helped the patient.
They consult us and they give us drugs free.
We have just started, and hopefully in the years to come, we hope to extend not only in Adamawa State but other states in the country.
The free medical outreach is one of the few being rendered by experts from non-governmental organizations in Adamawa State. In Yola, Tafawa Hamza Mayo, NTA News.
The National Agriculture Census, which will give complete enumeration of all agricultural activities within the country, is set to take place. To this end, the National Bureau of Statistics has put together a sensitization workshop for stakeholders in the agri sector from the 19 states of the North and the FCT in Kefi, Nasarawa State. Moplang Dakok reports.
Despite the importance of agriculture in attracting investment, the sector lacks robust data because the last time Nigeria carried out a national census on agriculture was in 1994. The National Bureau of Statistics, together with stakeholders in statistics, is finalizing efforts to make agriculture data available in the country.
It's an exercise designed to fill the existing data gaps in the agricultural landscape in Nigeria.
When you are talking about agricultural data, you are talking to go and find out what is the problem of the agriculture, how much are you going to do, what is their problem, so how can you assist them?
Participants are being trained on the requisite knowledge of all the intrigues and methodology required for a successful exercise.
We need inclusive growth. And when we talk about inclusive growth, we are not only talking of the cities and urban centers. We also need to include rural areas.
The upcoming census is expected to come up with a comprehensive agricultural survey that will drive the relevant policy for the agricultural sector. From Kefi, Moplang Dakok, NTA News.
From all indications, the raining season has started in the southern and most parts of the north-central zone of the country. The season is, however, yet to set in the northwest and east. Musa Ali reports that the rain pattern is going as predicted by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency.
Niger and its environs is among the states in the north-central where rainy season is about to set in. It has rained for like about 5 times now in the last 30 days. With the rains, Ibrahim Magaji, a farmer in Peiko village in Niger State, has started land clearing for the cropping season. The rain pattern has changed over the years. The length of growing season is decreasing year on year, he says. Farmers in the FCT, Nasarawa, Kogi, Kwara and Benue are also getting set for the cropping season. The crops that will do well as predicted in these areas are legumes, cereals, melons and tubers. In the north-central states, it was predicted that the onset of rainfall will occur between April and May.
Areas around Kwara, Oyo, Lagos, Nasarawa, Benue, Bayelsa, and Rivers, which are likely to experience shorter than normal length of growing season.
The rains are expected to stabilize in June in northeast and northwest with short duration of about 110 days. And this is why farmers in the areas are advised to go for crops with short period of maturity.
Expecting below normal rains across states like Katsina, states like Kano, part of Bauchi, Yobe State. And I think the reports we are getting here are exactly falling within those states that were saying they have high chances of having rains below normal in the month of September. And unfortunately, not just having those rains below the normal, is that looking at September going into October, the acidification is already setting in.
The rain in the south is expected to last longer, but could be accompanied with flood that may affect the growth of plants or destroy plantations.
However, prolonged length of growing season is anticipated in parts of Plateau, Kaduna, Edo, and of course Imo.
The NIMET prediction suggests that the growing season this year will last between 96 to 330 days.